what small business would you start? Or are you in the process of establishing, right? What small business would you start, or have you recently, just the other day, right, started? Tell us. SpiceFM KE. But now, good morning, Diana Kolek. Welcome to Double O Direct.
Olivia.
I'm really excited to have you here. Give me your journey to becoming a business coach.
Okay, so it started really young when I was in high school. I remember we used to buy biscuits. So I used to be given 500 shillings as pocket money for high school.
And
so
that pocket money for how long? 500 shillings for
a whole term.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Jeez.
So what I decided to do is let me use this money, buy boxes of biscuits. I think at that time they were between 150 to 180 shillings. I go with it to school because
These are the large boxes.
Yes.
House of Manji.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have like 300 biscuits inside.
Okay.
So now you get the picture.
Yes.
So 180 shillings, I use that to pay for the biscuit, and within like a week or two, I have my money back plus profit, and I've kept a little bit of biscuits for myself.
So what was the margin? What was the margin? You were selling them, were you doubling it?
No, I was just selling it at 1 shilling each because there were 300 of them.
Okay, so you were making 300 shillings?
Yes.
My God, I'd be so rich by now.
So I was buying 2 boxes of biscuits.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
I would go with it. And I think I had a thing with my dad.
Yes.
So I knew how to talk to him nicely.
Yes.
In between the semester, I would talk to him and tell him I'm out of stock and all that. And then he would send some shopping for me.
Yes.
So you can imagine, by the time I'm going home, I'm rich.
Wait. Did your father know that you were buying the box to sell, or he thought you just loved biscuits?
No. I never told him. I never told anyone that is what I was doing. But I was saving the money. I was using it for my pocket money at the same time, saving some for the next term.
Okay, that is incredible. So how did you evolve from a high school entrepreneur into this, Evoke global business coach?
Yes. So basically for me, I've always been interested in business because this is something I saw from my mom.
Yes.
She's always been a business woman. And I remember she told us when she got married to my dad, now me, I'm a Luopian. So my dad is the kind of guy who is like, okay, I don't want my wife to work. I want you to stay home and take care of the kids.
Yes.
So you can imagine we are 10 of us.
You're 10 children?
Yes.
From the same mother?
Yes. So my mom has always been this businesswoman, selling clothes, I remember when Komarok and Buruburu was starting.
Yes.
We used to live in those houses.
Yes.
And my mom used to cook githeri for those workers.
Yes.
And you can imagine the amount of money she was making at that particular time. It was really something that inspired me from the time I was young.
So out of the 10, you fall in where?
So I'm number 2. I'm the second born. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm picturing you, and I'm seeing that you're in high school, you're selling your biscuits term after term after term. You were instilled, into this entrepreneurship bug from your mother.
Yes.
How did it develop into university?
Okay, so now I finished my high school, and then my dad is like, you know what, I want you to go to the best university. At that particular time, he was a banker. So he takes me to USIU, and I stayed there for a year. Unfortunately, he retired. So I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate.
Yes.
Then after that, there was no more money.
Okay.
So I had to stay home for a whole year. You can imagine for that whole year, the one thing that still was stuck in my mind is that I have to finish school.
Okay.
So I stayed for a whole year working. I got a small contract from a company that was subcontracted by KPLC to do debt collection.
Yes.
And then from there, I dropped off because they were not paying us the salary. So after some time, I started, going to Gikomba, buying clothes, just doing small things. I remember at that particular time we were living in Moranga. So I would go and just look for jobs. I remember we even started a magazine called The Notice Board. Okay. I'm not really sure if you're from Moranga. Please tell me if we still have the notice board.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Stanley Kamau? We're talking to you. You know Stanley Kamau. Stanley Kamau. You know Jiggers. He's the guy who is removing everyone's jiggers. Stanley Kamau. Dr. Stanley Kamau. Tell us. Do we still have it?
So after that, a friend of mine from school, because I kept in touch with some of my classmates, and they were like, by the way, you said you're doing a debt collection for KPLC. There's a job here for credit management. Why don't you apply? And I just applied for the job. And at that particular time, God bless Frida Brown. She's still here.
Professor Brown, you're blessed.
Yeah, I think she's leaving in September. So she was employing people from high school. It was so interesting. When I got there are a couple of people who are from high school, went into, they were working as cashiers at the cafeteria, and, they were transferred to the finance department. So I went for the interview, and thank God it was very practical. So they really wanted to know, how are you going to collect these debts? And I think some of the people who were there had done the KTC, not the CPA certificate. So thank God I beat all of them and I got the job. And that's how I came back to school at USIU, and I worked there for a long time. Because one thing I wanted to do is to finish my school, and I wanted to get my master's degree. So I worked there for like 14 years.
Wow.
Yep.
I thought I was USIU Damu, but umenipita.
I worked there for 14 years, and through that period, I actually did my undergraduate for like 10 years, because when they brought in the credit control person, it wasn't a permanent job.
Okay.
So for 4 years, I worked as a contract person. And at that particular time, if you're on contract, they don't pay for you the school fees. So so I was just saving money, getting into the semester, maybe 1 or 2 semesters per year.
Wow.
And it took me, and then when you get into the program where they pay for their employees, you have to only do 2 courses per semester.
And how many were you supposed to do regularly? On a
4.
4, okay.
Or 5 if you have the money. So you can imagine, it took me 10 years to finish my undergraduate.
What kept you motivated?
USIU is a beautiful place, number one. It's a beautiful place to work in. I love the environment. And also, I was determined. I knew the only thing that will set me apart is by finishing my degree.
Live stream on your phone, computer, or smart TV. The homepage, standardmedia.co.ke. I'm Olivia Otieno. On the social, given the resources, if you had all the cash, if some fund just did you a solid, what small business would you start? Or have you recently started? SpiceFM KE is the handle. But now, Diana Kolek, business coach, Evoke Global. Your journey is incredible, right? 10 years to complete your undergrad. You've then gone on to have your master's. So from your master's, were you already a certified business coach by then? Or how did you get into it exactly?
Okay, so I would say it's through experience. Thank God, during my, tenure working at the credit control department and also finance, I learned a lot. And at the same time, I got opportunities to work with small businesses around my community. And I got a lot of experience from that. I'm almost done with my certification for my coaching. But it's something that I have actually worked with quite a number of young people who are doing businesses.
So give me some examples of the small businesses or young people that you've worked with and exactly what you've been doing for them.
Okay. So basically, some of the things that we do, and this is how I look at a business. I look at it in 3 parts. So the business is like a human being. It has a brain. It has bones, and it has the blood. So how we dissect the business is by looking at what business strategy have you put in your business? Do you have a business plan? So for the small businesses, you wouldn't talk much about the business strategy. You talk about a business plan, just a simple business plan that shows you this is where the business is going. This is what we need to do.
And what should be involved in the business plan specifically when you're putting that draft together? What are the key points?
Okay. So number 1, you need to know, do you have a problem that you're solving in the community or whichever place you want to do that business? So what is that problem? And you really need to define it very well. Then show us what is the solution that you're providing and how is it going to be provided. So that's now where we're going to the bones of how the business is structured.
Yes.
So you're looking at the systems of the business, the structures that you're creating, because most of the time we create businesses and then you find yourself stuck in that business. And if you leave, no one else can do what you do.
Okay.
So that is why it is really important to build the bones of the business. That's the business structures and the systems in your business.
So given a stereotypical small business that you've worked with, what industry, what were they, what problems were they solving?
Okay. So let me just say most of them were what we are calling emerging markets.
Yeah.
So emerging markets are anything other than IT. If someone is maybe solving a problem in the area of maybe agriculture, doing something within the value chain of agriculture, probably production. I have a lady who actually manufactures her own shea butter.
Okay.
But now she's stuck because she's doing it. She's the one producing the product and doing the marketing and everything else. And then I also realized that most small businesses, are people who are doing it as a side hustle. So what we are trying to do, and we call ourselves the business growth catalysts, because we want you to grow your business to the place where you're not actually depending on your salary, you're doing your business full time.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can grow your business, because it really requires time, investment, and also resources as well. So,
So do you advise people to continue with their job as they start their business, or do you advise them to say, you know what, get the basic resources you need and then devote 100% of your time onto your business? What do you advise as a business coach?
Now, when you think about how a child develops in the mother's womb,
Yes.
the baby doesn't just come out
Fully
100%,
formed.
fully formed.
Yes. There's a
It might
dependency.
start with maybe the brain,
Yes.
and then they keep developing.
Yes.
So I would suggest that, first of all, because I normally say that your employer is your number one investor. We are taught that we are not supposed to live, above our means. So that money that you're saving, that should be the investment that you're putting into your business.
Okay.
And you can start small. And then the other thing that I always tell business people, I know if you're doing like you're selling goods or you're selling a certain service that requires you to have a space, that might be complicated. But if your business doesn't require all that, the first thing that you need to do is to ensure that you have clients. Because that's the only thing that will show you that you actually have a business. Because you can, build all these things, rent a space, put in all the infrastructure,
Hire some guys,
and then you have no clients. So you need to actually go out and test into the market to see whether your business is actually, doable or not. Very important.
I'm Olivia Otieno. This is Double O Direct. SpiceFM KE, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Given the resources, given the money, what small business would you start, or have you recently started? Speaking of recently, we are 3 today. Spice FM is 3 today, and it's exciting. More on that after I wrap up with one Diana Kolek. You are a business coach. Evoke Global. Tell me, what does it actually take to succeed in getting money for your business? Because anyone who wants to start a business is thinking, I'm brilliant.
Yeah.
People need this. You know that problem you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a problem. I'm going to get customers. I just don't have the money.
Okay. All right. So I want to start from the smallest of businesses that you can start. Definitely you have to bootstrap. And bootstrapping means you have to look for money from wherever you can get. Your savings, if you have a credit card, you can borrow from your parents. I mean, where you can get the money, you have to just get it from there. Here I'm talking about very, very small businesses.
What funding bracket are we talking about here?
So we are talking about maybe a business that needs maybe 50,000 to maybe 200 or even 300,000 shillings. I can talk a little bit about some of the other businesses that I've seen. Someone has been in business for a while, and those are the type of people we are trying to help, who have been in business maybe for 3 years, and they're still looking for that 300,000, very little money to just continue, pushing their business. And these are people who actually depend on their business for their daily lives. So those are the kind of people we're also trying to help, because we realize that they're stuck at a certain plateau. Their business has grown to a certain level, and they need maybe a bigger amount of money to be injected, or their systems and processes to be, streamlined better, or maybe they need more personnel, or they need to bring in maybe a certain automation so that now they can move to the next level of growth.
Yes.
And then now the next level of funding is, there are actually 3 types. So you can use the money that you're getting in terms of profits. Let's call it retained earnings. So the profit that you're getting in your business, you can plow it back to grow your business. And for that, maybe it depends. You might find that someone is paying themselves some sort of dividends, and then another percentage of that amount is going into probably, a certain passive income for the business. So maybe you're putting it into money market or something like that. And then the other, probably a third, goes into, plowing back into the business.
Yes. So the 3 things. Let's round those back again. 1, you're paying yourself some cash.
Yes.
2, you're investing in something that's giving you money that you don't have to focus on.
Yes.
AKA money market.
Yes.
And 3, you're reinvesting in your business.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the next kind of funding is, let's call it equity funding, where you want to bring in a partner. So it could be an angel investor. Angel investors invest in businesses, and they have to actually, exit at some point. Let's give it maybe a maximum of 4 years. They want to exit, and they want their money back plus a certain profit. So an angel investor could be anyone. It could even be your parents. And right now, there are a lot of associations that, have these angel investors who can actually give money. And we are actually in the process of getting some of those with us to help some of our entrepreneurs. And the next level also is bringing in venture capitalists.
Yes.
So if you're looking for maybe more than $1 million,
Okay.
That is a really big business,
Can we pause? Because you've taken us from 50K
Yes.
to $1 million.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say you're looking for 1 million shillings, to 5 million shillings before we go into,
Yes.
foreign currency.
Yes. So for that, you can easily get that from, let's just say angel investors.
Yes.
Because the other small monies you can easily get maybe from your savings. Because if you really, really want to get into business, you have to invest fast.
You're not talking about borrowing from a bank. You're not talking about getting a loan.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll get there. So here I'm only talking about equity funding.
All right.
Yes. So under equity, we're talking about bringing in someone into your business.
Okay.
Giving them some shares
Yes.
as part of your business. And if, for example, it's really small money, you can even get that from your parents. Now, that probably would be a loan, or your brother, or maybe a relative or a friend.
Okay.
So when we go to the next level of getting a loan, you'll definitely need to go to a financial institution, a bank, a microfinance. Right now, it's so easy to get money from even the SACCOs. Right now, it's easy to get money from the phone if you really need very small amounts of money. So if you need to get money from the bank, that's where the biggest challenge is.
Okay.
Because the banks are very, very strict.
Okay.
And there's one thing that I've realized with quite a number of women that I've worked with, because I work a lot with women. One of the things that I've realized is you find someone registering their business as a sole proprietorship. And then eventually they've worked with the sole proprietorship. The business has grown, but they didn't think to make it a limited liability business.
Yes.
So immediately you change that. When you go to the bank, you have to change your bank account, right?
Yes.
So you change your bank account. You feel like, my business is big now. I need to go and get a loan.
But you don't have a history. Yes.
That is one of the biggest challenges. And I just want to advise people, if you feel that your business is really something that you can take it to the next level quickly,
yes,
just invest that money make it a limited liability.
How much
once and
does that
for all.
cost in a
So
nutshell?
it costs around 10,000 and something.
Okay.
It's not more than that.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Diane, unfortunately, we're out of time, but can we say that you'll be back at some point? Because this conversation is nowhere near over.
I know. I look forward to it.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much.
SpiceFM.